Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, ladies and gentlemen of the KBD Army. We are back in Lakeland rail fanning. Yes, we are back on the rail fanning journey. We are going to continue the months going on. I've taken a little break because of summer weather, and now it is rail fanning season again. We are bringing it back. We are starting this morning October on October 12th in Lakeland, Florida. We showed up to a tied down M453-12, waiting for a new crew since 4:30 p.m. We arrived to Lakeland, however, at 5 p.m., so he's been tied down 30 minutes prior to when we showed up. It is clear, however, that he's not going to be moving anytime soon because there's no new crew vans for him, which is most likely unlucky in most scenarios when you think about it because you could be blocking traffic on that track. But luckily, he wasn't. And in fact, he didn't take too long to get a new crew after 5 p.m. He got a new crew at... Stick around to find out. First train we have today is a green signal for Amtrak PO92 or Amtrak 40, with a Simmons Charger ALC-42 leading the train and a P42DC trailing. It's been a while since I've talked train, so I'm a little rough. But it's coming back, don't worry. And lots of my recent content has been about cars. But I'm going to start making it even. So first, again, we have Amtrak. So let's watch him go by. I did decide to do something a little different, though. Since M453 was tied there, I decided to get a shot of the Amtrak coming over the hill next to the M453 that's already tied down at People's Lane. I didn't get much of it, though, because the crossings were going down. I didn't want to be late. I'm not going to break CSX rule just because you guys want me to catch a good view for you guys. Sorry. I'll get munched by mosquitoes, but I'm not going to break CSX law. I'm not trying to be the next Sebastian DeYoung. You know that's how his mindset started, right? He was just like, oh, it's fine. Standing behind the crossings, oh, that's okay. And then eventually he started stealing train horns and he started trespassing and shit. He even started flipping switches, setting generators. Oh my god, he was the world's biggest foamer. That is the last thing a rail fanner wants to be labeled. And I just want to respect CSX in general because, one, I grew up with CSX, and two, they're respectful to rail fanners. They're not egotistical assholes like most BNSF workers are in northern Minnesota. And when I'm 18, I want to be a CSX conductor. I'm literally busting my ass in high school right now to get A's and B's so that I not only show up with a high school diploma, but I also show up with A's and B's so I'm the best conductor they can hire in the office. Okay, enough rambling. Here comes the Amtrak. Where he's going is the Lakeland Amtrak station, which is quarter of a mile down the track where he's picking up, I don't know who, but he's picking up a bunch of people, and that's his second trip there. So he came the other way when he departed Lakeland the first time. To be honest, I just said a bunch of random stuff because I didn't know what to say. So let's just continue. This is getting weird. By the way, you should know this. I was out with Zachary during this trip, so shout out to Zachary. Zachary loves trains. I put his @ in the description. Our next train is IO44. IO44 today has an AC44CW YN2 number 440 leading today. If you're watching this new, and this video was only released like hours or maybe even like 3 days ago, you can go back and look at the report. I will show it what it looks like on the screen for y'all. But yes, you can report YN2s on the Heritage Units app now. And again, if this video is fresh for y'all, go back and check the report if you want to. Anyways, the stats on this train is a single engine, pretty short today, and it screams through Wabash at about maybe 60, 70 miles an hour. If I see one kid in the comments say 6'7", I'm literally... But she has an outstanding horn today, as any Y2 would, and let's just watch it go by. It's a single leader, she's single, and we are going to be watching him in Wabash. You know, some days may not be the best for CSX action, but when you see a train that still has the same paint scheme from the 1990s, that just makes your day. To see that it still lives on. Now, you're probably asking, why are we back at Missouri Avenue? Well, let's go about 10 minutes in the past. In this footage, we are driving back from Wabash after seeing aisle 44. I happen to be videoing M453 at this time, as well as a new crew loading up onto 777 with the crew van and everything. Which means it's only about 10 or 20 minutes until he gets moving because they have to release the brake, check the semaphore, check with the dispatchers, all that good stuff, and then they can get moving. I would like to give you a psychological reference of what it was like standing there for all that time, and how just the sheer boredom I was experiencing. Also, there was a time where the engineer blew the horn for no reason. It didn't even start moving, he just blew the horn for no reason. Hey guys, she queefed. That means that she's coming. Oh, that's the sound when they release the brakes.
Okay, guys. I wouldn't, yeah. What's his name?
The funny thing is that even after the 2 blows, he didn't start moving until about 5 minutes after. But before we show you him going by, I would like to show you a conversation that I recorded. It was Jacksonville dispatcher talking to M453, the new crew.
Yo guys, I low-key have this shit really bad.
Oh shit, wait a second, that's not the video. Wait, hold on, wait, this is the video.
12 over. Alright, M45312, over.
Sir, good afternoon. We are here on the train. We got bulletin number 5816 for McCoy, Voisin. Ready to go south when you can take us. We got plenty of fuel, plenty of power. We got 3,500 on the lead unit, 33,000 on the second unit. And BTC's working, TO's working, the calendar days been done.
This guy's basically saying he's ready to leave and he's telling dispatch to move his signal to green. Which they did, so he started moving, as one would do. Let's watch probably one of the most famous engines roll across the CSX line. 777. Same number as the locomotive in Unstoppable. God's number imprinted on it. As in Christian scripture, the number of completion is 7. For gamblers, number 7 is the jackpot. Okay, this is getting corny. Let's just skip to the crossing gates going down. Okay, so this is a mixed freight going at like 20 miles an hour. So this is going to take quite a long time. I'm not sure if I can process this type of memory. Let's just skip to the end, please.
Fucked it up. Well, the train was going by. I was punching it. I was punching the crossing gate. I got fucked it up.
Now, for those of you who don't get the joke, that's obviously not true, because when the Amtrak went by, I was doing the same thing afterwards. I'm just putting this proof out there so that I don't get in trouble. Before the next event occurs, I would like to show you some of the outrageous things that happened before we watch the semaphore change.
Wonder where I found this right here. Just sitting right there. I can't legally show this, so I'm gonna have to blur it, but it's a Visa. Just laying in the bushes. That is the most funny shit I've seen tonight. Do you guys know anyone named Gregory Adam Bayette? That's the name. That's the guy's name? Yo, Gregory, if you're watching this video, we just murked your credit card. And I'm just joking. We'll leave it in the bushes where you left it. Gregory, I just murked your card.
Oh, hell no, man.
Your card is everywhere.
Looks like Gregory ain't really cautious about where his cards are. But anyways, we got our next train found out through the scanner, and we got an hour warning before it came. CO42. This will be the first CO42 I've ever seen. It was stopped at Stokes for an unknown reason. But minutes after we got that call, we got a green signal for him. So we drove down to People's Lane, and I got a good shot. The only con was that there was a swarm of mosquitoes around me. So I was getting bit left and right, and the mosquitoes were even swarming my camera. So I could have went to the other side and get not so good of a shot, or I could have stayed on this side and get swarmed by mosquitoes. You know what I chose to do? I chose to get munched on by mosquitoes to get y'all a good shot. For that, y'all better like and subscribe, because it's going to take me weeks to get rid of these mosquito bites. I got, bit 8 times. There was so many mosquitoes in the shot when I'm videoing the train, you can hear the mosquitoes swarming the camera. I'll upper the volume when they come around. But some mosquitoes had the balls to go on land on my camera when I was zooming out for the train to get you guys a good shot. I was in the middle of literally videoing the train coming at me, and there was literally mosquitoes swarming my camera. One even landed on my camera, and I had to swab it away. But it was so annoying, and I hope y'all enjoyed the shot. When you can hear the mosquitoes buzzing around the camera, I'll flash you a mosquito image. If you didn't hear it, go back. That will sadly be the last train of the day. Not for the month, but just for the day. There's a careful approach signal for a train, but we ended up trying to leave because it was taking too long and then we were going to come back. But we heard the train was coming on the radio and we tried stopping it somewhere and we couldn't get it because it was behind the trees. This was M60312 from Waycross, Georgia to Winston, Florida. He hasn't yet hit Lakeland, but it took him 30 minutes until he finally started showing signs of showing up, but we were just too far away. We risked leaving, and this is what happens. After the coal train we saw recently, we literally waited on this guy's signal for about 45 minutes. And once we find out he's just taking way too long, and he could be Lord knows how far away, we finally get on the radio that he's approaching 10th Street, which was right next to us at the time. So we pulled over, and the best shot we could have gotten was through the trees. There was no time. There was no chance. We weren't going to get back to people's lane in time. There was too many lights. It was too risky. This is why I want to go back to Folkestone, because the train traffic in Florida is just terrible. It used to be nice back in February or March. Now it's just terrible. Or is it? We're back in Lakeland, and we are waiting on a one train right now, IO44, northbound intermodal train. He has a medium clear on the other side of that semaphore that the arrow's pointing to. And this event was live streamed. If you want to see the aftermath, go for the link in the description. And like I said, all these events are going to be live streamed now. Just go to KBD Live, and if you missed this event, don't worry, there's going to be way more events, trust me. In fact, if you don't want to miss next event, it's next Friday, November 2nd, Cars and Coffee. I think I'm going to start calling it Streamer Sunday, because every live stream event I do, it's always going to be a Sunday. Cars and Coffee, first Sunday of the month. 2 train events of the month, both on Sundays. But anyways, back to real time. Every train comes in 1 hour. I'm being dead serious. We stay from 6 to 7 p.m. Don't you fucking say it. The meme's over. It's not funny anymore. And we planned on staying till about 10 p.m., but there was literally nothing going to happen after that, so we just left. Anyways, here's IO44. He just went by, and we have a medium clear for what seems to be L743, a very long one too, and he has 3 locomotives on his power. If it was L743, it would be a pretty rare one. I doubt it is, but it's the only explanation for this unknown train. I hear sparks on the tracks as if something's approaching behind the trees. So that was my 30-second warning to get up and start recording. And lo and behold, there you go. You see his headlights come around the corner, and as soon as it does, he blows the horn. Slowed down a lot in the course of when he was going through, and so did the next train. In fact, the next train stopped, like, in the middle of the semaphore. But if that was L743, that is extremely rare for him to be that long and to have 3 locomotives. But he can be the only explanation for what this train is. If it's not L743, it's some kind of B or X train. And now we get the white signal for M603 that will take about 30 minutes for him to get here after that signal. That signal will turn from a white to a close approach, and he'll be the longest train today, lasting a 6-minute long train. Amtrak goes by and it ends up being a medium clear. After that, we start hearing his horn. So I guess he didn't want to wait for the close approach. I guess he just wanted to go for the medium clear. Thank you guys for watching October 2025 Trades of the Month. We're approaching the end of 2025 here, which means the yearly compilation will be approaching too. And as always, thank you for watching and staying loyal to this series, and have a happy Halloween.